Welcome to the Flag to Flag Media YouTube channel. This is the Hot Pit segment presented by Water Warrior Restoration. And today's topic, we're going to be discussing, should Midwest tracks be scheduling races in March? Let's talk about it. Okay, so it's always a hot topic every year. Should racetracks be scheduling races in March? There's a lot of history and data that shows that racetracks should not be scheduling races in March. If you go to dirtondirt.com and look through their history section, if you go to racetracks in the Midwest, look at their history section, the percentage of races that get rained out in the Midwest for tracks that schedule races in March is very, very high. In the last 8 years, I think the icebreaker at Brownstown Speedway has been rained out 4 times. 1 year was due to COVID, so that was kind of, you can't really do anything about that. But four of those have been rainouts. What do you do about it? There's nothing really you can do. From a fan's perspective, there's 2 parts to this answer, or there's a yes and a no. From a fan's perspective, tracks should not be scheduling races in March. We typically run into a weather pattern in March. It's 7-day weather pattern of 5 days with weather that Mother Nature's fell off a rocker, and then you get 2 days that are sunny and 60, 70 degrees. Typically, as a race fan, those are the 2 days that we want. However, they don't always fall on the days that they need to for track prep and race conditions to be the way they should be. So from a fan's perspective, racetracks should not be scheduling races in March. And I somewhat agree with that. However, let's look at the other side of it. Let's look at the yes, tracks should be scheduling races in March. And in order to look at that, you have to look at it from a racetrack promoter's standpoint. If we're looking at this as a business, they want to make money. They have to figure out a way to make money. And there's four weekends in March. So if you can get one of those weekends to hit, it could set the tone for the rest of your season. You have to understand that there's a lot of tracks that aren't running. A lot of tracks don't start the race seasons till April, sometimes late in April. So racetracks that schedule races in March, if they can get that one race in March, it could potentially set the tone for the remainder of the year for them as far as income, checking out to make sure all the track surface is good, especially since it's like dormant all winter. If you put some new dirt on the track and all that type of stuff, it could set the tone to figure out what your racetrack's going to be like through the spring months and even into the summer. Now, once we run into the summer, racetracks are running all over, so you got competition all over the place. So if you can get those races in March, it's definitely a kudos to you. It's just like, if you think about it, it's like having lottery tickets laying on the table. There's 4 weekends a month in the month of March. So you got 4 lottery tickets. One's a winner, 3 are strikeouts. What's the odds of pulling that winning ticket? The percent of winning is not very high, but it's a gamble that you have to take, I think, in order for a racetrack to be successful through the early spring part. I do know, like a lot of tracks, they have schedule or practices and stuff like that scheduled. However, just like this past 2 weekends at Brownstown, they had Northern All-Star Late Model Dirt Series scheduled. Unfortunately, we didn't get either one of those in, but it's a chance that you have to take in order to try to get those first couple of races in. There's a Northern All-Star Late Model race scheduled next weekend at Florence Speedway. Weather's not looking the greatest for it, but you know what? It's when they created their schedule, it was a chance that they were taking to try to get these races in. Like I said, from a fan's perspective, it's easy to criticize. It's easy to sit there and say, well, it's not going to – they're not going to get the races in. The weather's terrible. I don't know why anybody would rather schedule a race in the month of March, even the first part of April, to be honest. But, with schedules being put out and races on there, it is what it is. And track promoters and series promoters are trying to do the best they can to take advantage of the time frame of the year, because once early summer rolls around, everybody gets busy. Schedules are going to be set. We're going to get some great weather, and it's going to be hard to get races in. You can't just, if a race rains out, you can't just reschedule automatically. Like the icebreaker, there's been several times that they've either added that to the Jackson or it was just a loss. And those big races like that, you start getting into the regional and the national stuff, like that's huge benefits and huge pay for track promoters. I mean, that's what they make their year off of. A lot of times is the big event. So I know I just wanted to do this hot pit segment because it's a very, very it's a topic that gets discussed a lot this time of year. And I know there's a lot of eyes on it. There's a lot of people watching social media, the internet, watching for tracks to cancel. Whether we've all been sitting dormant for 4 or 5 months wintertime. You know, we're all itching to go. We're all itching to get the races, and that's another perspective. If you can get a race in March, it's going to be huge because fans have been sitting around for 3 or 4 months, nothing to do, watching old videos. You know, we did have Florida Speed Weeks here a couple weeks ago, which kept a lot of us busy and kind of eased the itch a little bit, but nothing like seeing them, smelling, you know, the whole racing thing that we do. So yeah, it's hard. We're itching. We're ready to go. We want to see some cars in action live. And if a track can get one of those races in March, I mean, it's like everybody will come out of the woodwork to get to the racetrack. So from, you know, concessions, pit gate, the admission gate, the track is just going to benefit from that. And like I said, it could potentially, you know, figure out what the first part of their year is going to be like. So I just want to do this hot pit segment to kind of bring this out, talk about this whole weather thing real quick, because I always know it's a hot topic this time of the year. So yeah, if you got any comments, leave them in the comments section below. I'd love to hear them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave. If you have subscribed, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate your support and thanks for watching all of our content. But yeah, it's a hot topic. That's why I wanted to bring it up in the hot pit segment, and we will see you all in the next caution at the next hot pit.